Hey everybody, we're behind the scenes here on our November 27th show.
Hello.
You'll hear his voice here in just a second. This is our Right on SC behind the scenes. All right, today's episode was about climax scenes and denouement. Wrapping things up at the end of your book. And we did this for our NaNoWriMo'ers, those of you who are writing your novels here in the month of November, whether it's your first novel or just another opportunity to write a second, third, or fourth novel. It's tough here in the ending to get to the ending of the story, to get to those last 10,000 words where you're really trying to wrap everything up. The show notes are out on the blog, right on sc.blog. And the piece that we skipped over that we wanted to save for our patrons is about cliched or unsatisfying story endings.
Yeah.
The ending don'ts, right? So don't number one, don't introduce new characters or subplots.
Oh, at the very end?
Yeah, the very end. Last 10,000 words.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to see a new character when there's 10,000 words to go. Like we get to the end, I'm like, who is this person? Why is this person here? Why haven't they been here the whole time?
They're brought in to pull a Deus Ex Machina.
Yes, yes. They're brought in to somehow flip the script and make everything a nice, neat tie-up. No, not
exactly, unless you've hinted at that character beforehand. I mean, look at Tartuffe, right?
Yeah.
I hate the ending of Tartuffe. The King's Envoy shows up and just fixes everything magically. I mean, why is this... Why is this play?
I'll fix you.
Yeah, why is this play considered so great?
I don't know.
It must have come from a time when there were really bad playwrights out there.
That could be the case. Could be the case. Sometimes it's a matter of who your contemporaries are. Bad ending number 2. Don't change voice, tone, or attitude. I don't necessarily agree with this because here's what happens. In an ending that is 3 years later or 4 years later or 5 years later, your character should have grown. So their voice should be different. Their tone should be different.
Right.
They have some perspective on what's happened before. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I do agree with like, hey, if you've had this first person narrator the entire time, don't shift to third person or don't put us into somebody else's head at the last minute, which I think could happen for our NaNoWriMo'ers because you get to the end and you think, I don't know what the heck to do with this. So I guess I'm going to end up doing this. And then bad ending number 3, don't gimmick it. Twists and unexpected things can be gimmicky. What do you think of that? Gimmicks. It's hard.
What do you mean by gimmick?
I mean, so something like, like the Tartuffe ending, right? Or
the Deus Ex Machina, of course, it's terrible. It's he literally couldn't figure out how to get used it.
Or you've received a message, and the message reveals everything.
Oh yeah,
it's all been oh gosh, then I woke up ending, right? Like that's a gimmick, right?
Right.
We got to the end of one season of Dallas, and she stepped out of the shower, and like turned out the entire season had been a dream.
The beginning of the next season.
Yeah, so
just the dream, and it's like wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, we don't want that. The gimmicky ending where everything is not as you think it is because I just flipped the script on you. That's
the wake up from a dream one's terrible.
Yeah.
Unless things are incredibly bizarre.
Unless things get progressively stranger, and you're reading it and you're thinking, "What in the world? How is this writer going to get out of here?" And then you go, "Oh, turns out it was all a dream." Okay, I don't like it, but I can understand it.
Well, like Alice in Wonderland.
I was about to say that exact thing.
Exactly. But on the other hand, when you have a very realistic story.
Or The Wizard of Oz.
Or The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Even then was kind of.
And she wakes up and it's, oh, well,
That's not how the book ends, though. The book ends, she actually does go to Oz. It's not.
Well, the movie liked to make you think maybe she didn't actually go to Oz, that she had been sick this entire time.
Exactly. It made more sense.
To the 1930s audience, right? Maybe they thought the original
book's been around. Don't forget that The Wizard of Oz, the one we're talking about, is not the first version of The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of silent films based around the Oz series. The very first one being The Patchwork Girl of Oz from 1919.
I'd like to say
directed
I regret
by L.
that
Frank
I'm
Baum
unfamiliar
himself.
with these, but I don't
Frank
regret
Baum
it at all.
himself directed that one.
I don't regret that I've not lost a single minute of my life watching what was it called?
Film, The Patchwork Girl of Oz.
The Patchwork Girl of Oz. That, patrons, is for you. The Patchwork Girl of Oz. We appreciate you. Thanks for supporting the show. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Go Tigers. And we'll see you next time.